This is Matthew Kratter's Bitcoin University. Today I want to talk about Germany's Bitcoin brown bottom. For those of you who don't know what the brown bottom is, this is the period of time from 1999 to 2002 when Gordon Brown, who's the Chancellor of the Exchequer for the UK at the time, sold off half of the UK's gold reserves in one of the greatest blunders of all time. We can see here this is when the selling took place from 99 to 2002, and that really did mark the bottom of a multi-decade bear market in gold. This is priced here in US dollars, but we'd see a similar chart if we looked at British pounds. So this was a huge blunder, and I think Germany's made a similar blunder selling off their 50,000 Bitcoin. Checkmatey has a great post here, which I want to highlight as a way of reminding people how markets work and how they front run news, how it's basically a sell the rumor, buy the news type of market price dynamic. The German government sold a total of $3 billion US dollars worth of Bitcoin over the span of 1 month, with most of it being over the last 8 days, and these sales ended approximately last Friday. The market front ran the news. This is a very important thing. The market front ran the news, selling off to 54K, but actually rallied through multiple 400 million to 682 million market sell-off days, absorbed like a champion. I think this is a great chart that shows this blue line is the German government balance of Bitcoin at a certain address, and then it began to move in mid-June, be sent to exchanges in order to be sold for euros, presumably. And the market took note of this, sold off in anticipation of it happening. And then when the actual sales, the really large sales started happening, Bitcoin rallied back up. So this is why it's very important not to sell the actual news when it happens. You have to sell the rumor and buy the news. What's even easier is you just hodl your Bitcoin and you don't try to trade through these things. Why the quick dump of Bitcoin? They really did a poor job and had a lot of slippage as a result. Was it because some government official had to get it done before heading off to vacation last weekend? And why are governments like Germany so stupid that they don't understand basic trading facts like slippage? If they're trying to push down Bitcoin's price, as many people have said, this is a very bad way of doing it because it didn't last very long and the market was able to absorb it. If you're enjoying this video so far, just take a quick break here to ask you to help to support the channel. Click the subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment, and share this video with a friend or a family member. Now this all begs the question of where did Germany get 50,000 Bitcoin? According to the news, these 50,000 Bitcoin were seized from the pirated content streaming platform movie2k.to in mid-January. And it looks like there were two main operators that were accused in August 2020 of having, with other participants, distributed illegal film copies between 2008 and then May of 2013. They operated an illegal streaming service on Romanian servers, and then they started buying Bitcoin with the proceeds by mid-2012. The news goes on to say that in early 2020, the site's programmer handed over 25 million euros worth of Bitcoin as compensation for damages to authorities after having been in custody since 2019. Now, the value of 50,000 Bitcoin in May of 2013, when Movie2K shut down, was about 6.45 million. I'm using the price of Bitcoin, approximately $129 per Bitcoin, which is where it closed out that month. Did these guys really hodl from 6.45 million to 2 or 3 billion? They're absolute legends if this is true, though I also think there's a decent chance that we're not seeing the whole story here and that this is also laundered government intelligence money and that it was somehow being put through this entity and then ending up in German government hands ultimately and being able to convert it to euros. We can see here that there is still some Bitcoin sitting at that address. This is because people have been sending Bitcoin there, trying to get this. At one point this said 420, so trying to do 420 memes. We can see the Bitcoin balance here going from $3 billion worth, or if we do token balances, went from 50,000 Bitcoin basically down to zero now. So if you have, Germany has, what do they have, 700,000 sats. If you currently own 700,000 sats or more worth of Bitcoin, you now own more Bitcoin than Germany. It's hard to imagine exchanging precious Bitcoin for dirty fiat money like the euros, especially when you can print up fiat for free. I think it makes about as much sense as turning off your nuclear energy in the middle of an energy crisis. This was from April of 2023 when Germany began shutting down its last 3 remaining nuclear power plants. And this was after a fairly rough winter when something happened to the Nord Stream pipeline. Of course, Germany has been trying to transition to wind and solar power in order to virtue signal. Not a very wise idea, especially because Germany is not an especially sunny or windy place. It's certainly not as windy as places in Europe like Scotland. And this makes sense as well if you're an American and you recognize the latitude that Germany is at. I always forget how high it is. As an American, I'm still able to find Germany on a map. Fortunately, it's right here. And we can see if we go over here, if you've ever spent fall and winter in places like Wyoming or Montana or Canada, you know what this weather can be like. So probably not the best idea to move from hydrocarbons and nuclear to solar and wind. And the net result of this is that Germans, especially in the winter of 2022, they started actually returning to burning wood in their fireplaces and opening up shut down fireplaces to heat their homes because there wasn't natural gas coming through and the nuclear power plants were going offline. If you care about things like this, what's the carbon impact of moving from nuclear and natural gas to having people burning wood in their fireplaces? It's not good. There's another great irony here as well, that Germany, of all the modern developed nations, should understand the importance of sound money thanks to its history. It's been only 100 years since the hyperinflation in the Weimar Republic, which led to people playing around with wheelbarrows of money to buy a loaf of bread. This was central bank mismanagement and government mismanagement at its best, just like Germany selling off 50,000 Bitcoin going into the Bitcoin revolution. As an American who values free speech, it's hard for me to take a country seriously that does things like this. Rather than protecting people in real life, it LARPs and instead invades houses over hateful social media posts. Why have so many Western nations given up hope? The EU, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and even the US to a lesser extent. Why so much self-hatred and bad policy? And why do these countries and areas keep shooting themselves in the foot? Why are they deindustrializing like Germany has been doing, moving from hydrocarbons and nuclear to burning wood in the fireplace? Why are they trying to race to the bottom? I think the answer for many of these countries is a return to hope, and I think Bitcoin is one path to that hope. Bitcoin is hope for a world that has lost hope and faith in itself. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the subscribe and like buttons. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I publish my next video, and let me know your questions and comments in the comment section below. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.